This is Plant-Based Briefing. A plant-based diet resolved my rheumatoid arthritis pain, transformed my life. By Rena Johnson at forksoverknives.com, and I'm Marian Erickson. This is the Curated Content Plant-Based Podcast, where I narrate articles on plant-based and vegan living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And I'm thrilled to have permission from Forks Over Knives to share their content. This is one of their success stories. They've got tons of them, and they're so inspiring. So now let's get to today's Plant-Based Briefing. A plant-based diet resolved my rheumatoid arthritis pain, transformed my life. By Rena Johnson at forksoverknives.com. About 20 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, or RA. My doctor told me I could take medication to reduce the impact of RA, but once I started the medication, I would need to take it for the rest of my life. A friend convinced me to wait a month to see if we could manage my symptoms naturally. We went grocery shopping and bought a selection of whole plant foods, nothing prepared, ultra-processed, or artificial in any way. For the next 30 days, I ate nothing but those foods. I was supposed to see my doctor again at the end of the 30 days, but I had started noticing improvements in my symptoms, so I postponed the appointment. After another month of eating this way, I continued seeing improvements, so I postponed the appointment again, and so on. I gradually reincorporated some animal products into my diet. If my symptoms flared up after reintroducing a food, I would cut it back out. A year later, all symptoms of RA had resolved. The accident that changed everything. Fast forward to August 2017, I was in great health. I felt like I was living life to the fullest. I was leading a workshop for photography students, hiking through the Grayson Highlands in Virginia, photographing wild horses, and coming down one of the nation's most beautiful mountain bike trails. Then, in the blink of an eye, everything changed. A bad accident on a mountain bike landed me in a wheelchair for several months, with a leg full of rods and screws and an injured shoulder. I went from exercising every day to barely exercising at all, aside from physical therapy. I went from making healthy meals for myself to living on takeout. With my limited mobility and lack of focus on my diet, I began gaining weight. And although I was learning to walk fairly well, my RA was flaring up. The arthritis pain took over my life and made a full recovery from the accident seem almost impossible. Finding my way back, embracing the whole food plant-based lifestyle. In 2023, I knew something had to change. I was in the absolute worst shape of my life. I had gained 60 pounds since the accident. My blood pressure was extremely high, topped only by my horrible cholesterol levels. After contracting COVID-19, I felt tired all the time. My doctors were prescribing all kinds of medications. I knew there had to be a better way to get back to where I'd been just 6 years earlier. I started to eat less meat and grow more fruits and vegetables in my garden. Gradually, my aches and pains started to recede. Around this time, I found out about Forks Over Knives and started learning about the science behind a whole food plant-based diet. I watched every documentary I could find. On December 26, 2023, I woke up knowing I'd found my answer. I will never forget that fateful day. My wife walked into the room and I said, "Good morning, today is a new day. And by the way, I'm a vegetarian now." She looked at me, smiled, and said, "Well, I guess I am too. You're not doing this alone." We joined Forks Meal Planner and started planning out whole food plant-based meals for ourselves. Over the weeks and months that followed, I began to feel better in my body and mind, much like it had happened 20 years earlier. After I cut out dairy, my RA symptoms fully receded. Living free of rheumatoid arthritis symptoms. By April 2024, my blood pressure was in the normal range. I'd lost some weight and I was back to gardening and enjoying the outdoors with zero pain in my joints. My life had been restored. As of this writing, my wife and I have been full-on whole food plant-based for 8 months. We've each lost around 25 to 30 pounds. We continue to use Forks Meal Planner for recipes and meal plans. Some of my go-to dishes are the garlicky mashed potatoes, recipe linked here, oven-roasted veggies with garlic mustard sauce, and coconut curry stew. My most recent favorite is vegan elote, recipe linked here. It gives me something nice to roast over the fire or on the grill. I also love to snack on air-fried cauliflower poppers and black pepper and vinegar spiced cauliflower bites. I didn't even know I liked cauliflower until I started this lifestyle. Going whole food plant-based also provided me with the inspiration I need to finish a novel I've been working on for several years. I incorporated my personal health journey into the story. Since publishing the book a few months ago, I've received so many messages from people seeking to improve their health through nutrition as well. It's been mind-blowing. I am humbled and honored to be on this path with so many other incredible people and cannot wait to see what comes next. It has been quite the incredible journey so far, and we have only just begun. You just listened to A Plant-Based Diet Resolved My Rheumatoid Arthritis Pain, Transformed My Life by Rena Johnson at forksoverknives.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. And I love these success stories, as I mentioned. I will link some other episodes I've done about arthritis as well in the show notes, or you can just put arthritis in the search field wherever you listen to this podcast. But they will include 68, How This Doctor Used Diet to Heal His Arthritis, 197, After Years of Arthritis, I'm Pain-Free on a Plant-Based Diet, 373 and 374, Healing Autoimmune Disease with Supermarket Foods, 597, Got Joint Pain, An Anti-Inflammatory Diet May Be the Key to Your Relief, 668, Fasting for Rheumatoid Arthritis and Autoimmune Diseases, and 698, Plant-Based Diets and 3 Types of Arthritis, A Look at the Evidence. So I'll link those and more in the show notes. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.